Welcome back to Discovering Unique Hobbies, the podcast. I'm Zach.
I'm Cody.
We're your host for tonight's journey. Tonight, we're stepping into a magical realm of Dungeons and Dragons. Joining us tonight to tell us about the hobby that is D&D is Melanie Hanna, former coworker of ours. Some could call her a master storyteller, but some of us really know her as a Green Lantern aficionado. So stay tuned as we roll the dice, unravel the tales with Melanie, and really just get down to the nitty and gritty of what D&D is as a hobby. Let's get into tonight's episode.
Yeah, so we were just prepping for this a little bit and discussing maybe what we're gonna do here, and then so Zach, you asked me if I had ever.
Yeah, have you ever played D&D?
Yeah, and the answer to that is no, and so I've played a game similar called Dragon Strike, but that's the closest thing to it. So other than that, I have no idea. So if you could enlighten me, that'd be.
Yeah, so I've played.
Actually, have you played? I should ask you that.
Yeah, I've played. I don't know how it goes, so I'm very, very, very new. But I think I played 2 times. I think you can consider it times, because it's not 2 games. And I'll get into that. So. Both times I've played was with Melanie, and we played for 2.5, 3 hours after work with a group of folks, and that's where I'm like, does the game end there, or we continue, or how's that work? So you make it what you want it to be. I think you asked if it was maybe before we got on here, if it's like make believe, I think, or imagination, and a lot of it I would say yes. It's a role playing game at its finest.
Came up with So is it dynamic as you're playing it? I guess what I'm saying is the storyteller, the person who's running it,
the Dragon Master, I think.
Dungeon Master. Do they have carte blanche to just add some things in there, or do they have the playbook?
Yes and yes, I think. And I only know this because one of the podcasts I listened to from Boris, pardon my take, over the pandemic, they had a guy come on and they did a weekly game of D&D over a month span. And the Dungeon Master, I keep wanting to say Dragon, he would veer off from the playbook. I don't know if it's called a playbook, but they definitely have what the storyline generally entails. But I think that's what's cool about the game is the Dungeon Master I'll allow it kind of situations.
Yeah, as we're talking about this, I had a group of friends majority of my friends were 2 or 3 years older than me. And when I describe this gentleman, you probably would never have guessed he's the guy who's running this game. But there's a guy that we know. I'm not going to drop his name on it because I'm not sure if he'd want it. But he's 6'8" basketball player, great athlete, track star. But one day, a couple of buddies of mine were like, "Hey, we're going to get to go over to this person's house. We're going to call him John." Mm-hmm. So we go over to John's house, and he's just. His physical presence is crazy. So and he's like, I have this fantasy game I want to try out. And basically we all were assigned characters.
Yeah.
And then we would be put in scenarios, and he'd be like, what are you going to do, Cody? You have a stick of gum, a knife right now. And then, so what are you doing to get out of there? And then he would so when you said him, the storyteller kind of making things up and maybe having some guidelines.
Yeah.
He kind of tried to make his own thing. Now I'm realizing he just ripped off D&D a little bit, but
maybe. I genuinely I don't know how it started. I think it started kind of rolling out early 80s, maybe. Is that right? I only know about that because of Stranger Things.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say it had to be in the 80s because that's the Stranger Things. That's the other exposure that I've had.
Yeah.
What do they call they call it a campaign, right? I could have sworn in one of the episodes, one of the first episodes, they were down in their basement playing.
Yeah, I think it is a campaign.
We're in the middle of a campaign, so I kind of catching some buzzwords by accident because of that amazing show.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. We should have a breakdown of the final season. But
it's obviously big enough that we had another coworker that used to make his own figurines. He had a
He had
what is that, a 3D printer, and he made these amazing.
I think so.
He made himself
We played with them
Yes.
when we were playing, and they were pretty intricate. So, kind of segueing into that. So you have different characters, different races. Like you think elf, dwarf, man, things like that. I think like Lord of the Rings meets whatever. And you can put them into a different class, which Mel is going to go into this. We're going to sound stupid.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you get to choose that, and then you can pick perks. And I mean, I'm a big fan of Skyrim. I played on the Xbox upstairs all the time. Emily's probably glad I'm down here, not doing that now. But it's very Skyrim to me is fun. D&D is interesting. I'm not good at the pretend thing. I got into it when we were playing. It was fun, but I mean, it's just.
I mean, I'm
we'll
open
see.
to
We'll
it
see.
just because, and I was actually going to play with the group of you guys that were doing.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I think we ended up doing the hockey thing. I can't remember, but anyways, it intrigued me just because I used to make fun of my roommate in college for being a Harry Potter fan. Then you fast forward later, after I gave it a shot, I was like, "That's a great series, right?" So I would hate to never try this and then love it, So I'm very interested in what she's going to say about that. And I'm also interested to see if they have some like fair weather D&D folks, just because of the Stranger Things thing and stuff going on.
What do you mean?
Like, there had to have been a boom?
Do you mean
people interested in Dungeons and Dragons,
like
because of
bandwagon fans?
Like, I want to do Dungeons and Dragons. I'm sure because there were some Metallica ones for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know I think I'd still like to play. I just don't know. But yeah, it's gotten popular.
So what would the experience be if you could have a comparison in another situation in life? Like, you tried it and it's like, meh, I'm not sure. Is there something else is it just like, how would you describe it? Just kind of like a meh feeling, and you really didn't get into it enough?
No, I wouldn't say it's meh. I didn't do it enough. I didn't do it enough to, I guess, really delve into it and to really have a good time. It was fun. But for me, I think I just have to be consistent.
Yeah.
But I guess to compare it to something, I'll have to think about it. It'll hit me randomly. Maybe during the middle of the interview, I'm just going to yell it out, and we'll have to come back to this. But
ADHD, baby.
Yeah, it's
Did you get your
I can't remember.
butt kicked or something on it, or did you get your ass kicked?
No, it wasn't. I think we did okay. It was just, there's only so much you could do. There's like 5 or 6 of us, and we had 2.5, 3 hours, and a lot of that prep is set up and tear down.
Wait, what did you say? How long?
2.5, 3 hours. That's what we were playing after work, at most. And I mean, it's only two times. I didn't like getting home late, but
yeah, I mean, that's kind of wild. I mean, I'm interested to see, like, what the divorce rates are of D&D. This is something I wish I would ask our previous guest, Dusty. Is he a D&D gentleman?
I think he may dabble. He and I have been chatting a lot more since our interview. These videos will come. He probably, I would say so. Yeah. I mean, he knows a lot about games. I mean, he likes Pokemon, the trading card game itself, being a tabletop game. With D&D, it's similar in that aspect, but it's mainly about rolling dice and getting lucky on dice rolls, and I don't know, just having a fun time, I guess.
Yeah, so it's like collaborative. So
yeah,
we're getting ahead of ourselves. So there's a lot of questions that we'll be able to ask Mel.
Yeah.
So have you had any updates on your end with any of your hobbies?
As is the norm this time of year in Pittsburgh, it's dreary, cold, and depressing. I look for things to reverse that feeling, I guess. And so, what was your question again? I know what it was.
My mind went to like what was in the back of your room, and I have no idea why, honestly. Yeah. Do you have any updates on your hobbies? I know you've had a couple that you have going on since the last time we had an episode.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I talk about cards a lot. I have my Japanese base set, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard displayed now. But I actually set a couple of my cards off to be graded by PSA. We can get into a card collecting episode on a different night, but we'll have those shipped back within the next, I would say probably about 6 months. I have probably about 30, 40 cards to be shipped back. And all in all, I'm hoping that I'm going to keep about half of them and then flip. And I'm hoping to make about a considerable profit on the cards I picked up. But getting back to another hobby, I guess, that I do every winter. On Black Friday, I bought myself a mini hydroponic set.
Nice.
So it has lights up here, has these 3 little grow pods. And there's a water reservoir here, and all I gotta do is plug the thing in, put the water in here, make sure it gets to the right level, put some stuff like plant food in there, and then generally I think within a week I would start seeing some leafy germination with the light coming down and everything like that. So I'm gonna be trying to grow to eat better, healthier. Stop going to the grocery store. We'll have spinach or romaine lettuce. I'm going to do, I can't remember really what all I'm going to do right now, but
You're excited though. You sound like you got some excitement.
I'm so excited. Now this is just the mini one. So with my gardening, I've already created a list of vegetables and fruit that I'd like to have for next year. Sorry. And now that I own the property I live on, I'm trying to map out where I'd like to put my garden next year. But I also have to fight the deer that use my backyard behind my fence part as their walkway. So that's a big update for me. I've been planning on my desire to start being more self-sufficient and less reliant upon others to, do simple things like eating. So
it's like a hobby that'll give you, it's fruitful, lack of better terms. No pun intended.
It's punny, man. It's punny.
No, that's cool. I mean, like I said, people tend to be hobby people like you. You're able to look at different hobbies and get in them. And I'm sitting here going, like this, but I know one day.
So, I know I asked, I think maybe an episode or so ago, maybe one of the lost tapes, what is it that you do day to day? So, you struggle with, getting a hobby, what has been a big deterrent for you, outside of the, just the constant burnout that can happen. What's been a big deterrent for you to, find something to be interested in, to be as a hobby?
I beat it to death. I make it a job every single time. So
no, I mean, like what is like, are there stuff that's maybe deterring you from, going to pick out something as a hobby or?
No, it's just, no, I get what you're saying. Like, what's the obstacle?
Right. Yeah. That's a better way to ask it.
Nothing appeals to me like that. So again, it's to each their own, but like the idea of cards is, I'm too much of like, I can't sit still. Like even this is about as long as I can sit still.
Yeah.
For any period of time. That's me being completely serious. So
I
get bored very quickly when it comes to collecting things, looking at things, reading things. So then you go to the active part. And then if you do the active part where I've talked about fitness, fitness is for me, it's not fun because the level that I seek for the results is not fun. And that's the reality. And the older you get, the more it becomes less fun. However, and I think I mentioned this through text. I think I've accidentally come across the hobby where, I became a nutrition coach, and then I learned how to do some things on social media with TikTok and Reels. And so I started to plug, I put a page out there, started to plug some tips on there, which is
that's really
fun. Yeah. So it's fun for me to do. And
I have to get back on there. I've not been on there in like a week.
So one of them, and it's nothing crazy. I know there's people with millions and thousands of followers, but my personal account, I was getting 200 to 300 in jail most of the time. Every now and then I get to like,
is that 200 views?
Yeah, which is
nice.
It's a running joke, like 200 to 300 views, or if you don't have any following or don't really know how to use it, you'll see people with like 3.
Yeah.
But that's just because, there's an algorithm involved. But anyways, long story short, somehow one of mine ended up getting out there enough for a little bit of a following. So I went from 0 followers to like 130 in a week. And then it has a little bit of traction, and what's cool, people were asking for some nutrition advice, and it was fun to do, and it didn't feel like a job. So.
That's gotta feel good, I would say.
Yeah, and
it's
kind of like you, where you're getting something from that hobby with with the gardening.
Yeah,
I do, and this is not me being cheesy, being completely serious, not joking. Helping somebody is definitely
lame. I'm kidding.
In terms of like, I mean, the amount of times that I failed on these damn fad diets, I will gladly help anybody that doesn't have to struggle doing a fast and then drinking coconut oil because they think that's going to work in order to lose some pounds. So, but yeah, it's been kind of cool to see that kind of materialize and grow. And I'm hoping we could listen. I'm going to manifest this. I'm going to grow that out, and I'm going to come back on here and we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, and it's just going to be one of those things where I feel like maybe I found it, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to jinx myself.
Yeah, don't think about it, because at that point it's going to become more analytical than just a passion. Yeah. And
another problem of mine, overthinking.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to take a chill pill and go with it. But I just want to talk about TikTok videos. Mm-hmm. One of mine has 1,000 views, so nice. I don't want to sound like I am awesome at TikTok or anything, but I do have 47 followers.
Yeah, 1,000 people looked at that video. What is it of?
My dog.
Oh, that's cheating. Everybody loves dogs.
I have four videos on TikTok, and they're all of my puppy, my Great Pyrenees. Well, he's no longer a puppy, but at the time,
that's a ticket to a fast viral. By the way,
oh yeah.
One of our mutual friends of my wife and I, she posted one of her dog, and it was like just a random joke. She had a bunch of other videos, never hit. It was 190,000 likes, 200. It was like it went viral. Oh, and it was just some like stupid chirping behind her or something like that.
Did I ever tell you, Chipper, my oldest, he's the Husky Lab mix, the oldest white dog. He was on a BuzzFeed. He was featured on a BuzzFeed video once. Yeah, it's BuzzFeed Animals. So I was at a dog birthday party over in Carnegie, or however you all say it.
I love that. I love the dog birthday party, by the way.
It was awesome. And so I brought Chipper. At the time, it was just me and Chipper. And brought Chipper in, and the dog that happened to have the birthday party just so happens to have like 60 to maybe at this point 100,000 followers on Instagram, or on Instagram. And Nara the Husky, very good dog. But going over to Nara's birthday party, and they had a cat door, and the dogs would be on the other side of that door with the cat door in their sunroom, and all the dogs would poke their head through, and they come back. So at one point, I don't think it was Nara, but one of the Huskies put their head through, looked through, barked, pulled their head back, and then at this point you see a dog coming through, and then here comes Chipper barreling through, and then like puts his head in, and it's just very, very funny. No. I'll have to put the video in. It'll make more sense. That's bad video or whatever. But it's very funny.
We'll add that in.
I'll have to find it again. It's a little difficult to find because it's been some time. But yeah, it was really cool seeing Chipper on BuzzFeed. It was he was called out for being a bully.
It's funny you say that. I don't know where it was on the internet. I don't know how true it was, but I saw it a few times that there was this. It was a voicemail at a daycare. Maybe you were at work when we were talking about this. I don't remember, but it was a daycare where somebody got a voicemail. It was like, "Hey, we're gonna have to come. Your dog has formed a gang." Basically, like they formed a clique and they were ganging up. I mean, bullying isn't funny, but why is it funny with a dog? I don't know.
Chipper's had to happen to him before. Yeah, he was the little dog, and this dude's 70 pounds, and he's like, dude.
No,
he's not. He's just He's like a husky, literally mixed with the lab. He's got the lab body shape of the size of a husky, but he got ganged up on back home in Virginia at a dog park where the guy brought like all 6 of his dogs. They're all the same breed, like big furry like dogs, herding animals.
Yeah.
They herded him to the point where he's on his back and he was scared to death. I'm like, all right, we gotta go to his dad, but it's a good time.
Well, that's crazy. Do they think they're better than Chipper?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like
those sons of bitches.
It sounds as if like they have their own little like.
I think that he was the smaller animal, and they were all used to being around each other, and they were in an open area, so they kind of just corralled him into an area, but they circled him. It was legit nerve-wracking. I'm not gonna lie.
Go and listen to some emo music.
Yeah. Sorry. No.
No. Yeah, you put a wig like that on your dog and you post it, immediate. Nobody's gonna turn down a video of a dog.
Yeah. Well, my thing is, I'm getting like I know I'm doing a video podcast, which is kind of contradictory to what I'm about to say, but I don't want my private life on social media anymore. Like I'm done with LinkedIn. And for work, obviously, if it wasn't for work, I would never be on that thing. But like, I don't have Facebook on my phone anymore, and I forget that it exists. I still have Instagram. I gotta look at them reels.
Yeah.
But Twitter, and I don't know where I was going with that. But that's, I guess, I'm taking a step back from social media. But I think that it's cool that's kind of, I'm not saying that that's your hobby, but that it's kind of, it seems like it's
social media part isn't
the TikTok side of it.
Yeah. So the way the ironically enough, TikTok is just the easiest way to get it out there at first.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. The videos are the hobby part, like me making the videos, whether it's CapCut or Adobe, the platform, I can give a shit less who it is, where it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I could care less if there's 100 followers, 1,000 followers. Obviously, cool and a great accomplishment to have all these followers, but that's the cool part about it not being a job. Even if I could help just a few people,
right?
Because again, I would have loved to have had that, and I would love to have had somebody that went out and said, "This shit sucks." You know what I mean? Because what really happens is everybody's like, "Hey, bud, go get it." I have a little bit of that on my page, but the reality is, no, it sucks. Like 90% of the time, it sucks, but here's how you can make it suck less. So that's the fun part. So
I got you. I got you.
It gets me excited. It's kind of a way to earn, like, get something back from all that hard work I've done in the gym, and fitness and all that fun stuff. But
well, hey, I need that link. I texted you about AG salt powder a few weeks ago. I forgot. I just forgot about
send
that.
it to you.
No free ads. No free ads.
Yeah, but
Gathletic Ains.
I'm gonna get you something on Amazon that's a cheaper version of that anyway.
Okay, it's just like the Amazon Essential stuff, right?
Yeah, it's like Amazing Grass or something like that.
Yeah, I can get that stuff. It grows on you.
Yeah, grass is good. And so I want to touch on one hobby that I had that is very seasonal.
Okay, let's hear it.
In love with it. Did I talk to you about my salt gun?
Your assault gun?
My salt gun.
Yeah, no, I heard you. I was just making a joke. No, I have not heard the story of your assault.
Your joke is that so it's a salt gun.
Yeah.
That is used to shoot bugs, to shoot insects. Okay. I found it on.
Are you shooting like salt, like NaCl salt?
So it's like your Morton salt.
Okay.
Is it your gun, right?
Yeah.
And so I was on, I don't know if it was TikTok or just Rogan. I was listening to it.
It's like a salt muzzle loader.
Well, they have one with a laser on it, and it gets really addicting. It's got a sight in it. So you're out. So the reason why I got it is in the summer we had those damn lantern flies. So
yes,
and all I needed to hear was like, hey, we're going to encourage you to kill these things, right? So I
hate them.
Oh, dude, I was outside. My kill count was like 370, and I had my daughter involved. it's a fairly safe gun. You know what I mean? And then
it's like one of those rides at the amusement park where you I think at Kennywood, you go,
Yes.
pop.
Yes, no, that's exactly it. And
Yeah.
and what's wild is like, and then you like with the lantern flies, they're bigger than like a regular house fly. So you have to get them with 3 shots. So it becomes like an attack plan.
How are you, dude? You're killing them with salt.
Mhm.
You're salting.
It's called bug
bugs.
assault. That's why whenever you said that, I was laughing. I was like, that's literally what it's called.
Yeah, that should be in marketing. No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, your mind went right there. But no, anyways, it was
I
fun.
think
Like,
that I hate those damn things, man.
The
For people who don't know how annoying lantern flies are, you don't know how good you have it.
Mhm.
When you can't walk out of your building at work, and if you walk out of your building at work and you're not engulfed in the middle of the summer by giant ladybugs that lay gross sap everywhere.
Yeah, they're like,
it's the worst.
How would you like? It's like if a ladybug.
We'll put a picture of a lanternfly here. No, over here.
Oh yeah, but it's like
Bam.
a grotesque creation.
They're gross.
Yeah, like at first you're like, oh, pretty, and then you get glow. You're like, whoa, no.
Lanternflies came from Japan, I think.
Yeah, they're called the Asian lanternfly or something like that. But what's wild is like, so you like the salt will only blow them, like a knock will shock them. Then you have to shoot them from the other side, and then you have to just basically stomp on them.
So you blow them, and then you reach around from the other side with salt. Blow them with salt.
You could do the reach around first.
With salt.
With salt.
I hate myself for making that joke.
I don't know. I'm all in. So, but yeah, it became like it's like a seasonal hobby of mine, and quite honestly, I felt like so pumped that a fly got in. And Rogan was joking about this. He's like, I was trying to get flies in my house. My wife was getting pissed off because it became like a game. Like, so I had one fly that came in somehow one got in, or some sort of insect got in the house probably about 6 or 7 weeks ago. And I ran and grabbed that gun, and it was like one shot because you get so good at aiming the damn thing. So anyway,
so it's like a pistol. This is not a pistol. This is a hand. But
hold on,
we'll put a picture of it in there. But just so I know for our listeners, so is it like more of a rifle?
What time is it? Give me 2 minutes. I'll go grab it.
Okay, cool beats. I'll pause it.
Yeah.
Boom.
So, fun fact, I actually have one with me.
Let's see it.
So there it is. It is
That's a salt gun.
It's a, I think it says it on there. Yeah. So hold on.
So you use that to kill lanternflies, and that's your hobby for the summer.
Well, yeah. So you yeah. So it's pretty fun.
You're the lanternfly Terminator.
Yeah, I may or may not have filmed a couple videos.
Yeah, we're gonna have to share that.
Music behind it. So yeah. You know what? I'll suck it up and put it on air. I mean,
there we go.
So we'll get it going. So no, in all seriousness, it's like a $40 purchase. Something like that was one of the best purchases I've had because on top of everything else, it actually clears them out.
So anyway, it's been great catching up with you, Cody. I think it'd be a good time to move to the next segment.
Sounds good.
Boom, boom. All right, folks. So you heard it at the top of tonight's episode, but Cody and I are incredibly excited to bring you our next guest. Mel is a former coworker of ours, a good friend, and I guess someone could say she's genuinely a great person. So let's give it a round of applause to Melanie Hanna. Woo! Let's go.
Hey Mel, I haven't seen you for a while. How are you?
I haven't seen you forever. I'm good. Yeah. How about you?
Great. Yeah, I was pumped to find out you were coming on just because I remember I didn't get a chance to experience the D&D with you, so I'm excited to learn about it.
I know we were trying to get you. We almost had you. We almost.
It's good times.
We'll get there.
It was like every week, what we were doing on Tuesdays, every Wednesday, you'd come up to me and be like, "Hey, so can you tell me a little bit more about Dungeons and Dragons?"
I was
you didn't do a good job because he still has no idea.
I clearly.
So instead of sober curious is going around, I was D&D curious. How about that? That's we're gonna coin that term. I am D&D curious right now. So I'm interested to learn. So we're gonna have the fun intro. I'm excited to hear it.
What is this intro?
I just did it.
What?
I already did the intro. I already read it, and then she came on, and then we gave her a round of applause.
You know what? It was perfect. We loved it.
Did you guys not hear the intro? Cody, you were not even hearing.
I was distracted. I'm being like, I remember cheering clearly, but this is the best. See, this is why we're on this pod.
It was so good.
Episode
transition, we didn't even know what happened.
Yeah, sorry.
So we want to. I know Zach has prepared some amazing questions.
Yes, and I was not with the hands of AI. So, for starters, Mel, I have a lot of D&D stuff here. Tell our tens of listeners a little bit about you, and then kind of, if you can, how you kind of got first intro to D&D, and then kind of what made you fall in love with continuing to play.
Okay, great question. Not into D&D. I've always been interested in it. Been like Cody, always just been like kind of curious on the edges. COVID happened, and there was nothing to do.
Okay,
Yeah, so I had a lot of friends all over the country. We're like, hey, I don't want to sit here on Zoom just looking at your face for 4 hours. Why don't we like pull out some Dungeon Master handbooks and figure it out? So we'd sit there on calls for like 4 hours, like scrolling through the pages, rolling dice, figuring it out.
Mel, that was your first experience? Was 2020?
Yeah.
What?
That was almost 4 years ago, guys.
No, I mean, in all seriousness, in my head, I thought it would have been. I thought you were. I'm glad I'm finding this out. I thought that makes me even more intrigued, just because I thought this would have been like something you've been doing for a while now.
No, I am brand new. So when I don't know an answer or I'm not correct to all the tens of 20s fans,
absolutely,
please don't call me out. I've only been playing for a couple years.
Spoiler alert. We won't be able to call you out.
Oh, you can just edit out my wrong answers.
Yeah, you could say Gandalf the Grey and Hagrid are the key characters in D&D, and we'd be like, okay, yeah.
Perfect.
Not so much that, but you catch what I'm saying.
My nerves just went down so much knowing that this isn't like actually live. All right, great.
Yeah, we don't do anything live.
By the time we get traction, which we will on here, people will comment on this, and we'll be making better quality stuff, and you'll be a guest by the 5th time, so it'll be all good.
It's you're a recurring guest, so you have to come back every time we ask.
How excited were you, Mel, whenever you saw it on featured on Stranger Things, Dungeons and Dragons?
I loved it. I love how mainstream it's going. It is so fantastic. So with Stranger Things, Baldur's Gate, all these things, it's bringing in all these new fans.
A lot of people talk about Baldur's Gate at work.
You're not allowed to?
No, a lot of people do.
Oh.
A lot of the IT people.
Oh my gosh. It's incredible. It's this wonderful game. Patrick. Patrick hated Dungeons and Dragons before Baldur's Gate. Now we're gonna go have a game night at a local bar where we play a one-shot. I never can do that. I've been trying for years.
What's a one-shot?
Sorry. A one-shot is basically you begin and end your campaign in one night.
Hey, that answers one of our questions from earlier. Yes. Nice. So we weren't sure if they're supposed to end in one session or if they obviously can go beyond that, but wasn't sure how that works.
Yeah, so there's 2 types. There's your one shot, which you begin it and you end it in 1 to 2 times. That's usually your one shot. Or there's a campaign which can last weeks, months, years. You'll hear people like...
That's actually kind of cool.
Is there a Guinness record for the longest campaign?
That is something I'd like to know, but...
Wow!
Joe Manganiello. I know I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong.
Pittsburgh native.
He is. That's why I picked him and not, Triple X.
Don't know who that is.
So he had his character where actually they wrote books about him.
Mm-hmm.
Played him from level 1 to level 20. He's a Dragonborn cleric, I want to say.
Mm.
So yeah. they created all manuals on his character, like big old guys like this.
Nice.
So are all is the majority of D&D fans as accepting as you to the new fans? Because honestly, you're a positive person for anybody that doesn't know that, and I love that about you. And honestly, it's infectious. That's a good thing, and I've tried to do that myself, right? But
Bah humbug.
usually though, and maybe you guys understand what I'm saying, maybe not, but typically, especially with music, when bandwagon people come, people get pissed off. Or it's like, it was my show. Cobra Kai was my show, and people were mad about that. So is it just you that is just positive about this, or is most of the D&D community accepting to noobs like me?
So, unfortunately, I'd say it's a mixed bag. And I'd say even I catch myself being sometimes like, oh, you're not a true D&D person. No!
There's politics.
How is there politics in D&D? Come on. I mean, listen, I'm not judging. I'm just saying, like, of all the things. Like,
there's group politics.
It's like having politics in the gym. I'm sorry.
So I guess, so what's kind of, made you fall in love with it?
So it's just a really cool way to like disconnect from a horrible day. I'm going to build up this beautiful world. And you know what? On a great day, I want to go and I want to live in that world. And on a really bad day, I want to burn it to the ground.
I get that.
Are you against or for being inebriated or under the influence?
When playing?
When playing.
Okay.
And then also, does it get in the way if people do choose to go that route?
I think it depends on the group you're with. With a really good group, I mean, you're going to start off totally sober, end the night
stabbing each other in the back.
And I think that's a really good night where you started off sober, ended up, a little drunk and probably making some bad decisions in the real world and in D&D.
Hey, so
I'm trying to paint the picture. I'm trying to get the scene. Like, how about, can you paint a picture of, because Zach was talking about the setup and how long it takes. Like, what can I expect if I'm coming to join you on a work night at a D&D for the first time?
So if it's at work, it's going to be much different than at home.
Okay. Yeah. So like at work, you're introducing somebody. How does that go down?
So with our session, because we only have it 1 to 2 hours a month, everything's very, very condensed. I cut out a lot of the fluff. So they already know each other. Okay. They've already been adventuring with each other. And so we've already cut that out. They don't need to meet each other. So that
nice.
You're starting off with adventures where you know it's going to be for months and months. You're going to want to have that fun little thing. But I mean, these coworkers have been working together for years. I don't need to do that icebreaker. Who cares?
Yeah, you're starting in chapter 2, kind of leaving in chapter 1.
Yeah. So tomorrow we're doing How the Lich Stole Christmas.
Nice. Is Vecna in this?
No, it's just some random lich, but it'll be fun.
Okay, that's fine.
So the adventurers are coming back from a long journey, and in the process, they get lost and find themselves in Whoville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so they have to battle the lich to get back the children that he's kidnapped, and get back all the presents and everything else. And so it'll be a fun adventure for them to actually have their first one shot with us, and just see if it's something we're to continue. But yeah,
you're making it Christmas themed.
Oh yeah, we did Christmas themed.
It's wild.
Is the Grinch going to be in it?
Yeah, he's the Lich.
Oh, that makes sense. The Lich. What is a Lich?
The Lich is kind of like an undead creature.
Okay, that's how he's green.
Well, yes. I mean, with
is it similar to the Inferi from Harry Potter? Are you not a Harry Potter fan? Am I the only Potterhead on this?
I read books 1 through 7. I have not read the last one.
The movies fell off after Goblet of Fire.
Okay. Well, anyway, move along. So now you had some really good questions, Zach.
Yeah.
I don't have them in front of me.
So let's talk about your favorite campaign. So can you kind of share a memorable campaign where you were either, part of, as a player or as a dungeon master, or maybe both?
So my first campaign I was ever in, where actually I was the dungeon master, never touched Dungeons and Dragons before my entire life. I
Nice.
decided let's go all in, and then I was a dungeon master. I didn't know any of the rules. I
Nice.
didn't know what any of the monsters, what any of the classes, any of the races were.
Yeah.
Just went, okay, let me buy the stuff and figure out how it works. So I had to teach myself. I had to teach all the players who never played before, come up with a campaign on my own, and then just implement all of it.
Nice.
Did it go well? No.
You jumped right in.
No means was any of it like D&D official. Like I didn't do any of the movements. For any action, you can expend a certain amount of movements.
Yeah.
About 30 feet. So Zach would know that. Like if you roll out a map, you can imagine you can move like 5 steps. I didn't understand any of that concept. So I was just like, are we allowed to curse on here?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay. I was like, fuck it. No.
Wait,
All right.
no.
You guys can do whatever you want. Rule of cool all the way. If you want to jump from a ceiling and then slap someone in the same turn, cool. Do it. I don't care.
And were these other people all new too?
They were. They had never played in their life.
So like it was like nobody knew. That's the way it was. So that's kind of cool.
I would just like throw myself under the bus every single time. I was like, this is a rule and we're breaking it.
Nice.
We had so much fun doing it that way, and so that's just taking the pressure off of me whenever I do it. It's like rule of cool is the number one most important thing. Just make sure everybody's having fun and figure it out from there. Combat isn't about trying to kill everybody. It's about making sure everybody gets a fun turn throughout it and then end it. Don't drag it out.
Okay. I like that. So you kind of answered both questions with one. So that's perfect. So with character creation, I tried to explain to Cody kind of how that works. I played enough Skyrim in the last, decade to understand the basic, kind of folklore, if you will. So, what has been your favorite character that you've created, and, what aspects of maybe your personality, your background, you kind of implement into that?
Oh, Eliwick, the gnome.
I knew it was going to be. Yeah, I had a hunch.
Yes.
I had a hunch.
Yeah.
Are you still playing with that as that character, however that works?
I am not. She is currently retired, but you know what? She may make a return one day. But
what do you do with your retired characters?
Well,
do you have the little figurines?
They're going to Disney World.
Yeah.
I actually might right here somewhere.
As a hobby, you could store them.
I don't know where I have my figure stored, but I have her somewhere actually.
Nice.
But I have to make mention that I'm assuming there's something tangible with this, obviously. So once again, the hobby has to have a tangible item. Right?
In the last couple of episodes, we've kind of, Cody actually kind of coined the thought process of, with a hobby, there should be something that comes back with it. Like for me, I collect cards, sports, Pokemon, memorabilia, stuff I can put my hands on. I'm starting to, starting my garden prep again, stuff that I can grow. What are some things, I guess, tangible that you've taken from D&D, I guess, characters that you've created?
Well, what I love about Dungeons and Dragons is it's kind of the hobby that is as expensive or is as cheap as you want. You can purchase or you can make as much or as little as you want.
Awesome.
I've kind of expanded a lot more than I wanted to, but you know what? That's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like I showed you, I have the manuals, too many manuals. I have dice for days. I just keep buying 1 pound bags of dice.
Where do you get your dice?
What was that?
Where do you get your dice?
I do like Etsy.
Okay, I love Etsy.
Yeah.
That's actually where this frame came from.
Nice frame.
Right. UK. It's pretty fancy. Came from the future.
I'm pretty sure 80% of my basement is made up of stuff from Etsy.
Oh.
Reclaimed wood, just because. Anyways, but yeah. Good
and you know what the best part about Etsy is? Nobody can see where you're shipping from, or they can't check your Amazon Prime history.
I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So if you're Amazon Prime with somebody, they can't see what's being shipped to them for a Christmas present.
So Mel, I just randomly popped to my head.
I didn't know that.
Do you know? Again, it doesn't have to be an exact number, What is the youngest person that you played D&D with, and then also the oldest?
Okay.
Like again, a guess. I want to see how
Competitive or friendly.
Yes, exactly.
So that one, right now, really, I've only played with people probably within a 20-year age range of myself.
Nice.
So you're saying, do you know anybody? Let me ask you this: do you know anybody in their like 60s and 70s that still does this stuff?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, D&D was invented in the 70s.
That was close.
I mean, my shirt right now was the original logo. Ooh, from the 70s.
Nice. There it is.
I had to wear it today.
Nice.
It was created in the 70s, so there's still people playing who played the original Dungeons and Dragons happily.
Do we know who created it or how it was created? Or do you not care enough about that part of it?
I did know it there for like a hot second when I went down my big rabbit
Johnny
hole.
Vecna. Sorry.
Great guess. Great guess. I think his name is like, it starts with a G, but if you ask him, Bill would tell that to you in like 30 seconds.
I would have to get him on. We could have so I've said this every episode. I want to have a video aspect outside of just the podcast. We've had a buddy of mine that's huge into roller coasters. We want to do like a theme park day. A buddy of mine that came on, who is big in like Pokemon cards, kind of weeks coming up. Kind of want to show Cody how that kind of works. I think having a D&D game would be awesome, just like as a separate, entity. So maybe we can get Philly up here as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're uncovering a lot of like cool little side things because I think that that's one thing we need, and I also love like the adult show and tell.
Oh yeah, so that's his assault. That's his.
You know what I mean? Like but in all seriousness, that's a fun part of this. Like you showing your shirt. We've had Mike Eckert, an accountant, was on here showing his in a lost tape. He was showing of different clips of or different music that he's collected and things like that. But I'm realizing that we all love show and tell. Who doesn't love show and tell?
Yes, we work so hard for these passions. Of course, we want to sit here and show off what we've accomplished.
Well, here's the thing, though. If at work somebody wanted to do show and tell, there's a good chance I'm be like, okay, I guess I'll partake. Let's see what you brought in today. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, I'm so different. When people come out of their way to show me something, I drop everything for it.
Yeah. I get
it. I think like for on here, it's most I've noticed like there's a reason why kids, at least my daughter, loves the unboxing stuff. It's because people want to see it. Like, what are you using it for? Why is Mel so excited about D&D? Why does Zach love his baseball cards, his Pokemon cards, and just seeing the excitement? Hearing you talk about D&D, Mel, is always something like that's one of the reasons why I wanted to try it out. And I'm even more interested now, just because like I didn't know that you could make it Christmas themed.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that either, but
well, that's what's so cool about Dungeons and Dragons is it's whatever you want it to be. I mean, I love video games as much as anybody else, but that's what the developers want it to be. Nothing wrong with them. I mean, I've played Baldur's Gate probably 7 times now. I can't stop playing it.
What are you saying? What do you when you say what Baldur's Gate?
Baldur's Gate, yes. It is
like BAULDERS.
BALDURS.
Baldur's.
Yeah, but what is it?
That is the new Dungeons and Dragons video game. It is.
Okay, that was going to ask about you. I was going to ask about that. I didn't know that was the name of the game there, but I knew there was a game. It's like is it a PC, PS5, Xbox?
It is on everything.
It's a D&D game?
So good. Yes. Mm-hmm. It has the rolling. It has the initiative. It has like all the different stats. Oh my gosh, it has everything.
What would happen if I picked that up? Like what would happen if somebody what do you think would happen if somebody's never touched Dungeons and Dragons picks up that video game?
You will have so much fun.
Even never
you don't
even on its own, it's because I was gonna get that. I was literally gonna
I thought it was like Skyrim or something.
It is the new Skyrim.
So it's an RPG.
Yes, it's an RPG.
So it's an RPG though.
So is it RPG like Skyrim or RPG like D&D? Those are two different RPGs in my eyes.
So they take a lot from Skyrim.
Okay.
But they make it so much better. It's turn-based combat. Turn-based combat like D&D. I'm
Yeah.
getting too excited. I love this game so much.
Sorry, is that noise? Okay.
Wait, hold on. See, I like turn-based combat. That's what would have me.
I loved Final Fantasy back in the day. It was a lot
Yeah,
of
that's what I was
turn-based.
thinking of. Yeah,
Yeah.
the turn-based stuff. That's the only RPG that I was really into. So that's
the-
another thing I like.
It's the best turn-based combat I've ever seen.
Okay, sold.
I don't know. Have you played Final Fantasy X?
I
It
have
came out on
not.
PlayStation 2 in like 5th grade. So
You know, I haven't, but I have
Damn.
played Baldur's Gate on a PS5, and
Yeah, but hey Mel, if you don't mind answering this question, and hope you're okay with it, Zach. What's the first video game system you ever had?
oh, nice question.
that is a great one. I had the N64.
It was Zach's question. But the next question, Zach's, baby. But go ahead, and I'll have him ask it. So what was the system you said?
N64.
Go ahead, Zach.
I have a 64 right here. I bought it.
What's the question you're going to ask?
I could have a bunch here. Let's. I want to talk.
I'm going to go with the one he asked. He asked me this last week. He said, "What's the game that you think of? What's the first game that you think of?"
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah, it was yours. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm so sorry. So you're thinking your first system was a 64. What's the first game you think of that brings you back to your childhood?
Super Mario.
On the 64. Sorry. Wrong.
Wrong.
Golden Eye.
Mario Kart 64.
No, sorry, I didn't have that.
So
Well,
you
not everybody can be cool like
Yeah.
my family.
okay? Take Mario aside. What is your signature game on that system?
Then it's gonna be Legend of Zelda.
Okay, that's what I would.
You're a Breath of the Wild kind of person, aren't you? Yeah.
Is that your first D&D video game that you played, or is that like there's a series of those D&D games?
Are you talking about Baldur's Gate?
I have not any like is Dungeons and Dragons has it had a series of video games kind of like Pokemon too alongside the game?
Oh,
they've had
okay.
a couple other attempts. This is their first. I don't want to say that. Their other ones did really, really well, but this is the first one that's gone like blockbuster, winning significant awards, like catching mainstream attention.
Yeah.
So that way, like it's getting this many fans in the door. Because they've had another one that was titled Baldur's Gate. Probably never even heard of it.
Okay. And how often? Sorry, go ahead, Zach.
No, your question's probably better than mine.
No, I actually lost it already. So go ahead.
What? We didn't talk about this yet, but I don't think. What did you think of the movie?
I loved it. It was hilarious.
I didn't see it.
There's a movie.
Yeah,
Yes. With
What
Chris
year?
Pine.
this year.
Oh, there's a D&D movie that's a recent. So it's not like some.
Yes.
There's one from
90s.
way back when, but don't bother. Yeah, there's one with like I think it had Chris Pine in it, right?
I didn't. Yeah, it does have Chris Pine.
It's got like an
but
A-list actor in it.
There's a lot of money thrown at that movie.
So D&D is huge. I guess it would be because if it's
Yeah.
recently, yeah. That's so it's just are there conventions? I'm assuming, right?
I think there are, but
You're not that level though.
They're
I'm
probably
more
at cons.
superheroes.
Cons, yeah.
I go to Comic-Con, so
That's
I would
right. You're
also
a
go
Green
to.
Lantern.
Hey! I have a question about
Segue.
that. So, let's balance your other hobbies with D&D.
All right.
So, as someone with diverse interests, obviously I mentioned Green Lantern earlier.
Yes.
Have you, or do you plan to, kind of intertwine some storylines? Sorry,
To intertwine somewhat.
like D&D Green Lantern storylines in your Dungeon Master. Dragon Master. What is it? Dungeon Master.
You had it right.
Yeah. So as a Dungeon Master, I mean, is that something you've thought about?
I absolutely draw all my like inspiration from things I've read. I try to do it from books that I don't think other people would touch or be able to guess my plot lines. So unfortunately, I'm not going to pull it from superheroes just because people are going to immediately go there and be like, oh, Melanie, this is Hal Jordan. Melanie, this is going to be Justice.
So many people are going to be like, you got this from the blockbuster hit, The Green Lantern, right?
2013?
Yeah, it's a
Right?
decade old. Yeah.
I have
Don't
no
spoil
idea.
anything. I've never seen it. Don't
2013.
spoil it.
Wait, so you're tasked with like kind of putting the story together yourself too?
So you have a couple options. There's modules you can find. You can build it yourself, whatever you want to do. With this one, with how the Grinch stole the Lich stole Christmas. No,
Lich.
I absolutely bought that for $2.99. That is not my creative genius.
You could. We'll cut that. We'll cut
like
that
people
out.
that make like templates and stuff.
Oh yeah, they gave me the monsters, they gave me the rhymes, they gave me everything. They gave me the maps.
Is it licensed? Is it like licensed the Grinch stuff, or is it like a knockoff Wish.com?
Oh, it's absolutely
Crunch.
Yeah, which is fine. Which is
Yeah,
fine.
it's fine.
I just went online
It's
and
Grinch.
I got their picture.
No, it's cool. I mean, it kind of gives you the ability to. I mean, you could essentially do whatever you want theming wise, right?
It's the Grinch and Wareville. That's it.
Wareville.
That's the knockoff. So, what advice would you give someone who's interested in starting out? Maybe Cody here. What is some advice you'd probably give to him to, get into D&D?
So go to like a local game shop. You can find usually a local group from there.
So like I have to go find a group first.
To socialize.
Would you suggest trying it virtually first or in person first?
It depends on what your comfort level is. Okay. You're probably going to have a lot of luck finding one online. You can go through Facebook and look at local groups there. Or if you go to your local game store, you might be able to find a group there. But yeah,
it's crazy. What do you mean game store?
Like there are local like collectible stores.
Like cards. Probably gets. I go to a card shop all the time. It's like next door.
Like video game stores too. Like I know in Green, where I'm from, there's that Warp Zone that has like video games, trading cards, Pokemon cards. Like
yes, exactly that. Yeah, there's ones like that.
Super Nintendo games you can't find anywhere else. Okay.
Yeah, there's ones like that. There's ones that are also a little bit more geared towards like the collectible gamings, like Warhammer and Dungeons and Dragons, and just collectible board games.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I collect Ticket to Ride. Y'all play that?
I have not.
Oh yeah, we have that. It's a board game, right? Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Super fun. I have the PA version too.
I don't think I've played it. I think it's a game that we got gifted late last year.
Oh, if we're talking about things we collect, I have like 6 different versions of Risk that have not been opened. I love the game. I don't have friends. So next topic. So
you know what? I didn't
I'll come
think
over and I'll play Risk with you.
What would you suggest?
You got 16 hours? It's long. Anyway, keep going, Cody. Sorry.
It's okay. Mel, what would you say would you suggest somebody, the youngest you would suggest somebody getting into this?
That's what we've been debating. Patrick's sister had twins, and they're about to turn 2.
Yeah, they can start playing.
Yeah, they're ready. They're good. They definitely need to be able to read. They need to be able to do basic.
So my 10-year-old.
She's good. She's ready to start.
And she's creative. Like I always. Well, actually, she's artistic and creative. I'm creative and not artistic. So she loves to like write stories. Autistic. But to understand what I mean, though, like it's for somebody that is creative and enjoys that you're that part I'm excited for, because I'm pretty good at crafting like a story. But I know
Cody,
she's interested in that.
I think you'd like this.
I think you really would.
Yeah.
And we could run one with her too.
Yeah, I know that once I tell her about this kind of game, she's gonna be like, "Yes, I'm in, Dad." So,
and we can make it very kid friendly. And if you look online, there's tons of modules that are kid friendly.
So what you're saying is this is probably one of the most well-rounded hobbies that pretty much any walk of life, any age, as long as you can read and write.
It's a great equalizer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that's with somebody, anybody from any background can come together and none of that stuff matters and you just have fun. That's really how we all should be with everything in life. But so another kind of character mix-up thing, kind of we just talked about, potentially putting Green Lantern into D&D. If you could transport any of your D&D created characters into maybe a different fictional universe, think the MCU or the far inferior DC universe, what would that look like?
Well, again, I'm always going to pick Eliwick. I just think everybody needs her in their universe.
Mhm.
Eliwick, again, she's the happiest little gnome in the world. She started off in her little town where they just made their little music boxes and wanted to spread their song to the entire world. She decided that wasn't good enough. So then she decided that she needed to physically spread her song to the entire planet. So
So
that's
she
how
went and worked at Gnome Depot.
yeah, exactly. Gnome Depot. Every
Nice.
single Gnome Depot in the world. So yes, she started traveling the world, spreading her song through her music box, ended up acquiring an owlbear named Corduroy, which is as big as she was, even
An
as an
owlbear? Owl?
owl bear, yes. So combo of an owl and a bear.
It's like a
No,
liger.
That's like an
owl
ultimate
bear.
hunter.
It is,
Liger.
yes. Giant creature that she managed to get and she like tamed and would ride on it. She was incredible. She
So
also
we can create creatures too.
you can, yes.
Ooh. Okay, sorry.
Endless, man. It's literally it's
Oh no, yes,
endless.
yes. Ask questions.
Like
She
a
was
mongoose
also
snake. But anyways, good.
That'd be evil.
one of her companions died, so she turned into a necromancer trying to bring him back.
Nice.
That was her way of, oh, that's the right way to handle a situation. Just bring back dead bodies.
Nice.
But yes, no, she needs to be brought back, and I think she would do really well in Marvel, and I think she'd be really good friends with Scarlet Witch.
Would she make it in the Star Wars world? Or do you not know that world?
She'd be friends with those little Ewoks.
I'm worried she would get in a fight with them. They would not think she would be very welcome. I don't
In
know.
all seriousness, I'm trying to figure out where she would fit in the Harry Potter universe, because I'm
She's
100%
definitely a
geek in that
Hufflepuff.
world. No, she'd be a creature.
She's
like
a Hufflepuff creature.
She wouldn't
No,
be.
no.
She wouldn't be in the school. She'd be in the world of like the giants and the centaurs, and they'd probably have a place that they live. So, anyways, yes, I think I'm gonna love Dungeons and Dragons. Anyways,
Yeah, I got a couple more questions. I already talked about Green Lantern. I'm not going to do that to you again. But wait, so you said you think Marvel would be a good one?
I think
Yeah.
she'd be good in Marvel. I think Scarlet Witch, she'd be best friends with Scarlet Witch. Bring out the best side of her.
Yep, I love Scarlet Witch. She's coming back now. If you could play D&D campaigns, in a completely unconventional setting, like think outer space, different time period, like going back to the 1600s, explaining what the heck you're playing to, like whoever's living in the 1600s. What would that look like? If you could start the game in any other time frame or world.
Oh, that's cool.
I'll tell ChatGPT.
You know what? I think, like during the Dark Ages where just things are going wrong, I think it would be fun to bring it out. People would be really looking for an escape. It would be a fun way to like try and be like, why is she like, all right, well, one, we're going to burn her at the stake because she's clearly a witch.
Burn her.
with
Burn
like
the witch.
with the 2 hours I got of life, I would try to explain the rules. And clearly I do such a great job because they're imagining my world that they would then accuse me of being a witch. But I think it would be really, really cool. Very, very dangerous.
Do you think people in Westeros would play Dungeons and Dragons?
Ooh. What would it be called? It couldn't be called Dungeons and Dragons.
Life.
You've been building up this whole time for that joke.
Mm-hmm. That just came to me.
I
Life.
absolutely think they would love the game of life.
Yeah.
What is
great board game?
No, what's the most unique place, or not most unique, maybe most enjoyable place that you've actually played, like with your group? Is it like on vacation? Have you had to improvise, or is it always just like a standard conference room, or like can you play around a fire? Like I guess that's what I was getting at.
That would be cool.
That would be a lot of fun. I think I've had the most fun when I've had the most challenge trying to set up everything, whether it be on a Zoom call. That was a lot of fun because you can't roll out your mats with all the like dungeon layouts. You have to use your imagination. Or if I'm in my conference room with like a PowerPoint laid up. It's still like, okay, you can reference that, but for the most part, you have to listen to each other talk.
Yes.
Versus where if you're, at a dining room table, you can lay everything out, which, yes, I love it when everything goes right. Great, you can focus on each other, you can focus on the experience. But when things are going wrong, you really have to focus on that dungeon master, and you really have to focus on how hard they're working to make that one thing go really, really right. And I love that.
It's awesome.
Has anyone in your party or group ever killed you in a game?
No. But Phil decided to go be a hero once and died. At the end, the session had already ended and he died.
I'm gonna pour out a little bit of
Gatorade.
Yeah, right. It was the most ridiculous thing.
I think that'd be I can't speak. A successful campaign if someone in your party backstabbed you, like Littlefinger kind of, betrayal kind of thing. I think that'd make it a good game.
Yeah, it would have to be planned out successfully, so that way everybody's like not walking away feeling like actually upset about it. Because the thing with Dungeons and Dragons is you get so invested in these characters that like
bam, shanked, you're dead.
But then you like feel like this person actually has something against you. You walk away like, oh, why are they mad at me? Why would they hurt me like that?
But you can cast spells, and the dungeon master can bring them back as like a zombie or something, right?
Absolutely, yes.
See, look, I could do this.
You're perfect. You're right.
Man. I'm just sitting there thinking about like what would Mel in 2019 think about the conversation that you're having now here about Dungeons and Dragons. You know what I mean? I kind of love it though.
You know what?
Would you be like, look at yourself and be like, wow, I know this. This is wild.
I would just be proud that I continued to learn more and just like indulged myself. And I didn't just go, wow, that was hard. Let me never touch this again.
So let's touch on that. So obviously, a big thing for us is, we bounce, from hobby to hobby. Is that something that you've had as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, this is Melanie's number one fact. I almost went to art school and I never did.
Yeah.
One.
I had a complete ride to a school and I didn't go. So that was, another stupid thing. But I get it.
I think we all have that level of like overachieving, like want to do a bunch of different things, dabble, help people out, and then you got a bunch of different plates, and then you don't balance them all. At least that's what happens with me. I've gotten better as I've gotten older when you don't bite as much off. But so you had the same issue, really finding one that you could bite into.
Yes.
Then you found D&D. And so like, how often do you play D&D then now?
I'm doing it once a week once a month with work right now. And that's what I can chew. So we're doing that. And now I'm starting to get back more into art. And when I can, I'll read some comics and I'll play some video games. I have a nice balance of all my hobbies.
So you have like a holistic approach. You have like multiple hobbies that you probably go to for different things.
Yes, they all give me a lot of mental health. Dungeons and Dragons just sort of like you completely decompress from everything, whereas painting or drawing, I'm just going to completely turn off my brain. Video games is when I'm very, very angry. Patrick knows what type of mood I am when I'm doing any of my hobbies, and he knows when to talk to me and when to just like disappear for a couple hours.
That's music for me. Yeah. If I'm listening to Pantera and I'm not in the gym, don't talk to me.
Do you guys game as like a couple? Like, do you have separate like gaming chairs and things, or is he not a gamer? Or is he a gamer?
Oh, don't look into our living room. We literally have 2 TVs and 2 PS5s in our living room right now.
What?
Nice.
That is awesome. I mean, I'm no judgment. That's awesome, because I can tell you right now, if you have 2 fans in a house of one system, how could you possibly be on one system all the time? It's not even, you'd have to like, especially if somebody's doing a game that they play on their own, But I see that on TikTok or online. I see these couples have these nice setups, and do you play at the same time, just separately?
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's really nice. We tried playing Baldur's Gate together on the same TV. We just didn't get a good experience from that. We played It Takes Two together and loved it. It's such a cute game.
See, in typical Cody fashion, I tried to revisit my video game hobby, and my wife takes it. Literally is
What?
what happened. Well, I started to play Vice City again, and I'm like, this game is great. And then and then I got annoyed with it, and I was like, oh, I've had enough. And then I handed the controller to her, and she goes, I remember this game. This is great. Next thing I know, she's all in on GTA. I mean, I sent her the trailer yesterday.
I was going to ask, did you see the new trailer?
Dude, wow.
Mel, did you see it?
I have no. Patrick showed me for like 5 seconds.
It is insanity.
It's in Vice City too, I think.
No, it's multiple. You could take an airplane to different locations now.
And you can stream things like the Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that. You get
arrested. You get.
I'm going to spend a lot of time playing.
I mean, you get arrested. What I'm saying is, you get there's repercussions. You can go into the mall, go into every store in the mall, take part in it. Go and the big thing about the airport is you can go to wherever their California location is, instead of having to drive, and it's just insane. And now they're supposed to have real currency now. And
your character ages.
Yeah. And there's a woman character for the first time in GTA.
Hey, apparently you're playing as a brother and sister combo.
It's the most impressive video game. I don't think anybody's going to say it's not the most impressive video game they've ever seen. It's wild.
And that was a new segment. Zach and Cody talk games.
Talk games.
We're testing it out.
Mel likes video games. Dusty loves video games.
Chase, all of us.
Yeah,
we're nerds. I love it.
Yeah.
So let's see here. So if you could, this may be my last question, if that's cool with you. Cody does have to head out here soon. If you could create your dream D&D scenario as a DM, what kind of world, characters, and story elements would you make sure to include?
That's a great question.
Thank you. Came up with myself.
I love that he pats himself on the back every time he asks a
question. I like it too. We got to get him. Maybe I'll put it in there for him. The clip, yeah.
Humble. Most humble person you'll ever meet, I promise.
Absolutely. So with that, I try so hard with my campaigns to make sure that everybody's having the most fun.
Yeah.
With that, you really want to make sure that there's that heavy balance of RPG versus combat.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't like the combat. I think combat can be a little clunky, and it just always takes too long. Yeah. So what should sometimes take 10 rounds, I'll bump it down to 2. Everybody does one killer move. Great, we're done. You killed them. Great, awesome. Let's move on. I really want to focus more on that RPG because that's why we're all there.
Yeah,
do combat, play a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Or join a group that specifically wants to.
Yes.
Do combat,
Yes. So
or video games.
My world is going to be full of a lot of fantasy. It's going to be filled with a lot of comedy because it's me. I'm going to make a lot of dad jokes left and right.
Yes. I'm trying to come up with something. I can't. It's going to come.
I mean, again, my first one, we're going to be talking about how the Lich stole Christmas. It's going to be goofy. Nobody's going to take themselves seriously.
No, I made cornhole boards. My daughter's not here for the elves. So I love this little theming.
Is that like the elf on the shelf thing?
Yeah. And it's just you saying all these little things that you build out. I get it. Because there's nothing more amazing than seeing
the people. She's you're the dungeon master to your child.
It's very true, yeah. Because it's not just with elf stuff. I'm the one who the leprechaun. I had her chasing the leprechaun, and I had games and little things. So I guess I'm honestly going to be getting off here and going and looking at the D&D what the Dungeons and Dragons, that master and all that stuff and how it works, because it sounds super intriguing.
Yeah, I mean, you create an environment for her. You're already doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
did you list all your story elements though? I can't remember if we got on. Okay, cool. Just make sure.
So I do that from time to time. So Mel, what's the longest game you've ever played?
As in story wise or session wise?
In one sitting.
One sitting, I was probably there about 6 hours.
Okay.
My
And
longest
then
campaign was probably about 6 months.
6 months. Okay. And was it more satisfying that 6 months ending, or did you like the more, not instant gratification, the quicker gratification?
It depends on my mood. Overall, I liked having that one character grow for so long. I grew so attached to her. I loved Eliwick. I still love Eliwick.
So you're growing these characters out. I mean, I could ask all these questions for the rest of the night, Zach.
Well, I do have one quick one though. So a big thing for me, this can be the last one. A big thing for me with my hobbies, it takes me back to my childhood. I think that's been a common denominator for a lot of us, actually, with our hobbies. So is there something from your childhood that you think that you could maybe attribute to your, let's just, not in a bad way, but obsession with D&D or maybe even art? Since you're picking that back up again.
I think I just read a whole heck of a lot as a kid.
Okay.
Read a whole lot of fantasy books.
Okay. Well, what was your series? Like, what started you?
I read a lot of Bernard Cornwell, and he was a historical fiction author. So anything by him.
Cornwell? I think I've read something by. Oh wait, no, that was just those were the bad guys in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Then no.
Cornwall. Did you guys see those balloons?
Yeah, the balloons.
Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't know. See if it did it again. Sorry. Leviticus Cornwall.
That's what I was saying, Mel. Whenever you did have an introduction, because I remember saying about the balloons.
Yeah.
See, there was an.
All right, it just took an hour for the intro to happen.
ADHD.
All right. Welcome to discovering unique hobbies. So. All right. Well, Melanie, it's been awesome. Obviously, I think we should, have you on again, however often you want to be on.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, do you have anything else? Are you still? I don't know if you're still streaming or anything like that. Do you have anything you would want to potentially plug?
No, I'm boring.
You don't stream anymore?
I don't stream anymore.
What?
No.
What's going on? I don't know how long it's been since you were even doing that, so I shouldn't be surprised.
When I worked with you all.
Oh, so it's okay. Oh God.
It's been over a year and a half.
Yeah. It's been a bit. So, all right. Yes. Well, it's been a pleasure. I think that I feel comfortable rounding out the episode now.
Yep, sounds good. I mean, it was an awesome time talking to you. Appreciate it.
Awesome. That was episode 3 with Melanie, talking about Dungeons and Dragons. I think it went really well. Like you were saying, Cody. I think that was our best episode yet, and I think that I really think having a video of us doing this would be great. So hopefully we'll
make it happen.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll see you next week, folks.
See you then.
Bye, y'all.